Hey everyone, welcome back to The Ride with Lance, and today we have the brand new Lectric XPeak 2.0 step-thru. And I'm going to do a couple things first. First of all, I'm not going to do a totally new review. It would be basically a second review of the same thing. The bike I rode in Arizona was the high step, but all the specs and everything are the same. But I'm going to do two things. First, I'm going to answer the question that's probably on a lot of people's mind about the step-thru. Is the wobble gone? So in a few minutes, I'm going to take it out. You're going to come with me and we're going to test it. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and upgrade this and modify it to my preferred riding position. That means higher bars, wider bars, a nice comfort seat with a Sun Tour suspension seat post. I know this has the electric one, but I just like the Sun Tour better. This also means that the rack is coming off, the fenders are coming off, front and rear, the light is coming off, and we're going to get it ready for off-roading because that's what I love to do with this bike. It also makes it a great cruiser, a nice comfortable cruiser with these upgrades too. So stay tuned for that. But first, let's go over a few specs on this bike. The XPeak uses a 750 watt rear hub motor that peaks at 1310 watts with 85 Newton meters of torque. It also uses the Stealth M24 technology for a quieter motor. It comes with a 24 amp controller that is IP65 rated for weatherproofing and thermal management. The battery is semi-integrated, and the model I have here comes with a 48 volt 20 amp hour battery that is UL 2271 certified. The XPeak itself is also certified to UL 2849. The XPeak comes with RST Renegade suspension with up to 80 millimeters of travel. The front brake is a hydraulic disc brake that has 203 millimeter rotor. The rear brake is a hydraulic disc brake on a 180 millimeter rotor. The XPeak now comes with a torque sensor, and combined with the PWR Plus technology, or pedal assist wattage regulation, helps to manage power output based on the rider's pedaling effort. The drivetrain is an 1132 tooth, 8-geared freewheel paired with a Shimano Altus derailleur and a thumb trigger handlebar shifter. The crankset is a forged aluminum 48 tooth chainring, and now comes with a backlit color LCD display with a USB-C port. Other features of the XPeak include front and rear fenders, a rear rack, a headlight, a tail light, and electric branded suspension seat post. Okay, we're going to try the wobble test. What we're going to do is we're going to go down to this fence over here. This will be our starting point. I got a pretty nice straight road in front of me, but it is bumpy and a little off camber. So this should be a good place to try and see if we're going to feel or see any of the wobble. Now I should have the camera pointed down more towards this area so you can see if anything goes on down there. But first we're going to do it in throttle only, and then we'll do it in pedal assist and see if there's any difference between the two. Ready? Here we go. Throttle only first. Okay, I got a firm grip on the handlebars. Now I'm going to lighten up, because that's usually when you start feeling it. I've got nothing. And we're hitting bumpy ground, and I actually riding with no hands. I just have them there just in case. No wobble. Let's go ahead and try pedaling now and see if that does anything. Here we go. I got it in PAS5, pedaling, lightening up the grip. And you can see that the ground is rough, but there is no wobble. No wobble. That's great. I think they've done a great job of fixing that issue. This ride still feels like the original XPeak, just a lot better. But let's take it back and let's do my favorite upgrades to get this into a even better and more comfortable riding position for cruising and off-road. All right, there we have. We have it modified to the riding position I really like. I put the taller handlebars on. This has got a 3.5 inch rise here, and these bars are nearly 31 inches wide. And what that does is for taller riders, it just makes it feel much nicer, because with the stock handlebars in the position they are for tall riders, you just feel like you're kind of in a cramped, compact position. This opens things up. It brings it up so you're not hunched down too far, you're more in a nice upright riding position. And I've taken the front fender off, I've taken the headlight off, I've taken the rear rack off, I've taken the rear fender off. The only thing I haven't taken off yet is the kickstand, and I will do that after this. I needed something to hold the bike up. But the reason I do that is for two reasons. First, I like a quiet bike when I'm going down a trail. I don't want something that sounds like a bucket of bolts just, coming down the trail. This is going to be nice and quiet. Now that they've added the Altus derailleur, it's going to put more tension on that chain, which you're going to get a lot less chain slap too. Okay, so I've added the Blue Wind comfort seat. Now, I can't say enough about this now. I'm just really happy that Gary from Gary's E-Bike Adventures told me about this. I tried it, and I'm like, wow, this is this until something better comes along, this is just a really nice seat. I've also put the Sun Tour suspension seat post on. I know this came, Lectric sent their seat post on, but for me, I think it's because maybe, I'm a heavier dude. It just doesn't feel smooth. It just doesn't feel smooth. So the Sun Tour feels really nice. I'm going to have a link in the description to all the things that I've added to this bike. So if it's something that you're looking to do, you can see it right there. There'll be links to it: handlebars, seat, suspension seat post. I think that's about it. But the thing now to do is take this out on the trail, out on the bike path, and see how it works. I'm betting that it's going to be just as nice as the first XPeak, the XPeak 1.0 that I modified. So let's go out and give her a shot. All right, now the fun part of this kind of review, not review, the rider experience. So one thing I want to make note of, I said I've upgraded this with the handlebars I like, and of course the suspension seat post and seat I like. But one thing I want to show you why I did it is because I'm a taller rider. I'm 6 feet. And with the stock bars on, I was down here. So if you see where my knee is and how close it gets to my hand, that was a problem. That's why I meant it felt, for taller riders, the cockpit felt cramped. So that's why I got to rise and spread it out. Now look. Now you can see how far away it is from my knees, even in the turns. I don't run that risk of not being able to turn sharp enough because my knee is in the way, because my pedal position is in the wrong place. And I am in an upright riding position that is just, for me, it's the best. It's the most comfortable position, but it doesn't take away from the kind of aggressive style you might need if you're doing some trail riding. It doesn't make it so it's like way up here like this, because you can still stand up and still get in that aggressive riding position. But we're going to do a hill test, not the normal hill test. We're going to do it on that hill right there in front of me. You can see the trail. It goes up, it starts off, gets steeper, kind of makes an S-turn, gets steeper, and all the way up to the top. This is not my typical hill test I do, but this is the XPeak. Come on. So I'm just getting myself set up here. I'm going to go ahead and put it in PAS5, and we're going to go by throttle and see how far it'll go. I don't think it's going to make it all the way to the top on the throttle only, but we'll see what we can do. Right, here we go. And the next run will be pedaling. It's doing good so far, but this is the real steep spot right around this turn. And this is where I think it's going to stop it. Yeah, I don't want to push it further and ruin the motor. So I don't know if you can see that angle it's at. That's a pretty steep angle. Let me get turned around here. We got to get this ride in today because it's supposed to rain for the next week, and that means it's going to take a long time for this clayish mud, dirt to dry out before I can get off-roading again. Shout, squirrel. Okay, let me get back here and get set up again. Let me pick my gears that I want. Let's see. Well, we're gonna start off, I think, in third gear. We're gonna keep it in PAS 5. And then see if we have to downshift. Okay. Here we go. Back up. Love this torque sensor. Okay, I'm going to downshift a little. Down to first gear here. Up. Got to go over these rocks. Ooh, pedal strike. But guess what? We made it. We made it. All the way to the top. Love this bike. So the other thing I want to mention on this is how nice this torque sensor works combined with the Stealth M24 motor. First of all, this motor is quiet. I hear the knobbies. I really don't hear the motor at all. I'll hear it a little when it winds up some, but nothing that's going to scare anybody that you might come up behind. Let's take this trail right here, and we'll do PAS levels. Now, I'll put in PAS level 1, and we'll use throttle and see if speed is dictated by the PAS level, which, as you can see, it is. It's not picking up speed, it's just cruising at just 7.5 miles an hour. PAS 2 will get you to 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 miles an hour. About that. And then PAS 3. Now, I do not have this unlocked, so 20 miles an hour, it's going to cut off on throttle and pedaling. See, PAS 3 gets us to 17, just under 18 miles an hour. PAS 4, it's probably going to get us to 20. Yep, there it is, 20 miles an hour. PAS 5, it's probably just going to get you to 20 miles an hour just a little quicker. It'll probably give you a little more power to get there quicker, and it does. But I also wanted to mention, I was going to mention back there, I forgot to, the torque sensor on this thing works phenomenal. Just like it does on the Expedition 2.0. These are the best torque sensors I've ever ridden on any bike. You give power, it gives power. There's no surprises. If you just want to pedal lightly, you can. It will still give you some power, which is really, really nice. Okay, we're at the brake test area now. I'm going to get it up to 20, and there is a 25 mile an hour sign just around the turn right here. That's where I'll brake, and we'll see how long it takes. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Okay, we are at 20, just a little over 20. Ready, 1, 2, 3, stop. Try not to lock her up. There it is. There's a tree. Okay, you can see the stopping distance from the pole to the back tire. I just moved the bike over since I took the kickstand off. So let's count her off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, about 18 feet. 18 feet, and you gotta remember I'm a 250-pound rider. So before I get to my next little trail riding area, I want to talk about this frame. Now, I did get the step-thru. So I know in the first version, people were, started getting the messages and seeing videos about wobbling and then being reluctant to buy the step-thru, especially if they were planning on carrying cargo or taking it off-roading. They had concerns like, was the frame really strong enough? Well, so far what I've seen on this, you saw me do to see if I could get the wobble. It didn't wobble at all. And then just cruising, this is a very solid frame. I can tell you that. I'm getting no flex. I'm doing that. Not really getting any flex, no wobbles. And I think it's going to perform very, very well on more of the trails I'm going to go on. But maybe you're not going to get this as a trail rider. Maybe you want it as a cruiser. Maybe you're saying, hey Lance, I like the bike, but I don't have no intentions of pulling the fenders off and the rack off because those are something I want to use when I'm riding on the street. Well, you can do that, don't worry. It shouldn't affect you. When I did the wobble test, I had all that stuff on. So if you want to get this as a cruiser, go for it. It makes an excellent cruiser. Right now, I am thoroughly enjoying this. The only other bike that has come close to this is the Nomad 1 Plus. And that is pretty much a strict cruiser, upright beach type cruiser where the handlebars are up high and they're swept back. And I'm in that comfortable riding position too. This is on par with that. Now the good thing about this one is you're lower to ground because that Nomad, it is a tall bike. It's also a step-thru, so it's easy to get on. But when you're on it, you feel tall. Here, you feel a little more closer to the ground. And with the advantage of the step-thru, not having to swing your leg over the back or trying to swing it over the middle bar, that's just a bonus. And I have to tell you, the paint finish on this bike is super nice. They did a really good job. It's not white, it's like an off-white. And with the new branded colors they put on the side, it looks sharp. It looks like a very sharp bike. But I'm just, like I said, I'm enjoying the cruising part right here. I'm gonna get on this trail over here, but up here, come back this way. So let me get over there and I will see you in a second. All right, this is the beginning of my little off-road trail I have here. And this is gonna be testing the Renegade forks and the brakes and the handling and see how it is. Because there are some tight turns, but I'll tell you, if I see poison oak, I may turn around, but let's go. I've got it in PAS 3, that's what I'm gonna leave it in. I have it in gear 3, that's what I'm gonna leave it in for right now. We'll see how it does. Yeah, doing good. Those would probably be the hardest bumps I hit. But we'll see. Haven't been on this trail since last summer. Good braking in the corners. The tires are doing a pretty good job of gripping too, especially on some of these old dry leaves. They're kind of packed into the ground. I like it that it's somewhat green right now, but not overgrown. Okay, now let's do some pedaling. Let's back it down to PAS3. You know what, I'm going to put it in PAS2 because we got some tight stuff coming up. I'm going to put it into gear 2, so 2 and 2. Yeah, I love this type of off-roading. This is my speed. I think the fast and the hard stuff I've kind of outgrown. So here's a tight turn, and then we'll torque sensor it. Took it right through that railing, nice. Didn't have to put my feet down. Okay, now we're gonna be coming into the tighter area I was talking about. Let's see how it feels going through here. There. Yeah, and then up. Look at that. Look at that. You know, and with the torque sensor they have it set up, you don't have to worry about sudden bursts of power, which is really nice when you come in and through sharp turns, and then you have an immediate little uphill. It makes everything just that more controllable. Yeah, love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, let me get back on the regular path. Another thing I want to mention is Lectric puts slime in their wheels, a tire sealant, so you don't have to worry about putting flat out in it right away or slime or anything else. It's already in there. It's just another added bonus when you buy a Lectric product. Who do I think this bike is for? Well, I think it's for those who want to do some off-roading, adventure riding. But I think this bike will be great for people who want to do something like that. And people who just want a fat tire cruiser. You know, like I said, this bike is lower to the ground, so you're not feeling that big, tall bike feel. Because I know for some, you know, the 4-inch fat tires on 26-inch wheels look like monsters. But I can tell you, the handling on it is super nice. Because it's got a shorter wheelbase, so it's more nimble. But yeah, I think it's great for those who just want to do some off-roading, adventure riding, cruising. I mean, this is going to be great at the beach, doing beach cruising. And there was even for a commuter. You get the long-range battery. I mean, that's the battery I got here. And when I rode this in Arizona, I think I got 23 miles out of it before it started to drop a bar. And that was in 106-degree heat. So if you want to use this as a commuter, I don't think you're going to have any issues. I think the only issue you'll have is all the looks you'll get. All right, well, I got the bike pointed towards home. I'm going to do a lot more videos on this bike for sure. I love the XPeak. I loved it when it first came out. I love it even more now. So I will have links to all the upgrades I did here, if you're interested in that. And I'll have a link to Lectric for you to go there, check out any of the bikes you want. That link helps me with my channel. It helps me bring more videos. So if you want to buy an XPeak, you want to buy any electric bike, please use that link. It doesn't cost you anything more. But you have a great day, a great ride, a great week, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.